welcome to the technical difficulty part of our podcast here. This week I built a second PC, so we're streaming through two PCs right now, and welcome to the nightmare that is two PCs. The audio sources had to change, and I knew I forgot one. I was bound to forget one. So
I don't know how you do it. It's so complicated.
I just couldn't handle the one PC. This is a topic all on its own that we could go on for about an hour if we wanted to.
We for sure could. Yeah.
I'm also supposed to update the topic. I'm glad you all got a kick out of my inability to spell last week, by the way. Glad everybody enjoyed that. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Ninja and the fact that he is the first gamer ever to be on the cover of ESPN magazine. They actually literally did an entire gaming edition because of Ninja and the amount of popularity and just how big of a name he's become. And regardless of how you feel about the man, like, I was literally 5 minutes before we started this, I was watching Tim the Tatman, him, Nick Merckx, and I forget who else they were playing with. But it's just, I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I read through the entire article. I don't know how many of you have read through it, but the article got published a few days ago. And it's a full-length article. They followed him around for a few days from the fact that I think from Lollapalooza all the way up till his Vegas Pro-Am event, and then they were with him up until Call of Duty's Blackout beta, which only ended a few days ago. So
yeah, they did mention that in there at the end.
But it's, first of all, it's incredible. I read the title. Hey, listen, True. And I think it's absolutely huge for anybody on Twitch. And everybody, we were talking about this last week about how easy it is to get affiliate and how difficult it is to get partner, but how much more difficult it used to be to get partner. But in that article, Twitch mentions how they like to boast that they have 2.2 million streamers, because this was the debate last week over whether 2.2 million was streamers or 2.2 million was users. And from what it sounds like, Twitch tells people that they have 2.2 million streamers on the platform, which is an enormous number. And
what is the time frame for that, though? Like, where do they get that number? Like 2 million within what? Like,
I mean, I'm like gonna assume that it's, I think, overall probably on the platform that have at least hit go live. I believe that's how they did it. Again, the article didn't really touch too much on that, but
right.
Duff, thank you so much for the host. Appreciate you. By the way, chat, the alerts are going to be in the middle of my screen, so I didn't know where to put them. They look good enough there. You all love them. I should put them in a corner. But what do you think about Ninja and the impact that it'll have on Twitch itself? You know, just first of all, being as big as he is, but now with the ESPN cover and everything else.
I think it's great. I don't know, like, he's big time. He's super big time now, and he's a household name. And I think he is, I don't know. I support him being the face of Twitch, I guess you could say, or to represent streamers on Twitch. I think he is, I think he's a good person, and I think he's a good role model. And I think he has a younger audience.
Yeah.
If I can, probably, like,
he definitely seems to have a very, very young audience.
Yeah.
Which is actually one of the things that came up last week too. So I think it's a little interesting that he knows these kids are like 8 years old and, you know, younger, because they come up with their parents and everything like that. So I almost wonder where it actually lies. I know what I said last week, but now I'm kind of thinking a little differently, especially seeing everything that's going on with Ninja. But I do agree, the role model aspect of it and the dedication. Go ahead.
Yeah, he is a family friendly streamer, right? Like, he doesn't curse or
yeah,
as far as I know.
So he does, from what I understand, he does his best not to curse. And he dialed it back once he realized how much of a young fan base he has.
Right.
So I think what a lot of it is going to be is that, you know, he's looking at it as, which, like, I'm a horrid person when it comes to swearing. I'm the first one to admit it. I'm very toned down on here, but on my stream, I mean, it's rampant sometimes. Not in any kind of hateful way or anything like that. It's how I
Right.
talk. I think if I thought my fan base consisted of mostly 7 or 8 year olds or 10-year olds, I would probably need a little reality check on mine. It's easy for me to sit here and say, "Oh, I wouldn't care," or "I'm not changing my content," whatever. But
Mhm.
like, I was watching Tim the Tap Man right when this article released, and Tim and him, for
Mhm.
those of you that don't know, play together a lot, and he was saying how, everybody brought that point up in his chat, how he completely flipped the script and he changed. Like, he used to be, a vulgar, not a vulgar streamer, but like somebody that swore and, raged out and got mad and whatever. And
Yeah, he's kind of toxic.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
Tim said, he's like, but I can understand the change, because he's like, I used to be like that. He's like, I used to play Overwatch and I drop F bombs left and right and I'd lose my mind, blah, 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 blah. He's like, and then I was at an event and this guy walks up to me with his 8-year-old daughter and he's telling me how she
Aw.
loves to watch my streams. And he's like, I'm looking at her and the first thing I said to her was, don't say the words I say. And he's like, it hit me that, you really do have an impact on the people that watch, especially when they're young kids. So
Mhm.
I think it's commendable that the man took the initiative and position that he did to be able to, accommodate almost everyone, and realizing that he has that kind of an impact, where I think some people would have just taken that success and been like, I can do whatever I want now.
Yeah.
But the article cites
Um,
a ton of stuff. I know you read it.
I did read it, and I think it's important to kind of touch on some of the things that are mentioned here because, like, for me, I don't know, I follow Ninja. I see him live almost every day, and to me, it's like no big deal. But like some of these numbers are staggering.
Sure.
I mean, he has clips on Instagram that get 5.2 million views in 2 days. Um, even the income that he's making from Twitch alone, like I think they said around $500,000 a month
Yep.
is insane. So for me anyways, he's a lot bigger than I initially thought he was. So like the cover of ESPN seems fitting, because
Yeah.
he has definitely earned it, and it's crazy to me.
Yeah, he is definitely he is the face of Twitch.
Yeah.
Whether you like the guy or not, you can say Ninja to most people. I think the article said if you walked up to any 13-year-old or younger, if you don't know who Ninja is and asked, 99% of the time they're going to be able to tell you exactly who he is. He's at the point of fame and notoriety of, a movie star or a singer, because they talk about how like he was at Lollapalooza and like he's close with Logic, and he wanted to see Logic play on the last night, and he had to dress up and put sunglasses on and put a hat on and get, bundled up to look like he was a normal person just walking around. And then him and his wife were walking into the hotel and somebody recognized him and screamed out his name. And then they were there just stuck taking pictures for, 2 hours. And he's the type of guy that he's not going to walk away from the responsibility. He'll try to hide and dodge it, which I can't really blame him. But, once that happened, he wasn't like, no, 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 get away from me. He stayed and he stood in that
Right.
lobby after streaming 7 hours at Lollapalooza straight in the heat. And they talk about how he doesn't really eat and how he doesn't really drink. He drinks water and whatever and eats here and there, but it's not like he had a meal or anything like that.
Right.
So the amount of fame and notoriety behind him is just absolutely insane. There's so many good
Yeah,
points in
and
this article.
mhm.
I just
Like
go
the
ahead.
the dedication that it takes, like some of the things he's saying is that he works like 6 days a week, and him and his wife have one day a week that's a date night, which or a date day, I guess they said.
Mm,
And recently they've had to even skip that day that they have together because they're so busy. She's full time managing him, and he's also doing this full time. Just the dedication that takes. And I know he mentions like, he wants to be able to be in a place where he can take care of his family and his family's family. Um, And maybe it takes a few years of really grinding and struggling and dedicating every minute of your life to this, but then after that, maybe you can think about taking it easy, or kind of stepping down or stepping away from the top.
Yeah.
um
I fully agree. And he talks about, like, throughout this article, first of all, he talks about, like, to touch on that thing with him and his wife. They're newly married too. And,
yeah.
as somebody, like, I just hit 1 year in July, me and my wife, and I can tell you, like, it's not
Mhm.
it's one thing to date for a long time and everything like that, and then you get married and, things start to intertwine depending on how your life was before that, whatever. But, it's a lot to balance. It's a lot of stuff, and it's very impressive in that she is able to sit back and realize, what is going on and his dedication to his goal. But they went on their honeymoon
Yeah.
for like a week, and he even said it. It was his first vacation in 8 years. But,
Right.
you look at it from the outside and everybody says the amount of money in it. It's mind blowing, whatever. But he treats himself like a business, as he should. He's a brand, he's a
Right.
business, just like
Right.
any musical artist or actor or anything like that. And they were talking to him at Lollapalooza, and he was frustrated. And the woman at first couldn't understand why, till he sat there and told her, he's like, I'm standing here right now today, and I'm going to lose 40,000 subscribers.
Right.
In one day, you lose 40,000 subscribers. That is, at his level, he's probably making the premium cut, so it's 70/30, so $3 a sub.
Yeah.
That's an astronomical amount of money to think about losing in one day. So what he touches on a
Right.
lot is, like, he does all these big events. He does the Pro-Am. He does, he's going to TwitchCon. He did Lollapalooza. Is If it's going to cost him $75,000 to miss the day, is it worth 75 grand for the amount of publicity and clout he's going to get from showing up to these events?
Mhm.
Something like Lollapalooza, that's huge. Nobody's ever done that before. It's a music festival, and there's a dude streaming video games in the middle of it. Like, it's wild. It's absolutely insane to
Yeah.
even think about. Just the level he's on is just, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that, you know, he streamed when the COD beta came out. He streamed to 270,000 viewers on a game that's not Fortnite. So
I don't know how I missed that.
you can't say it's
That's
Fortnite,
crazy.
you know what I mean? It's so when they this past week, when they had when the beta dropped for open beta, it opened on Saturday morning. On
Mhm.
Friday, if you had pre-ordered, then you would get early access. Or if you watched Ninja, Tim the Tatman, Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, and like one or two other streamers, if you watch them for an hour with your with your Blizzard account linked to your Twitch account, then you would get a free code as like a drop. So again, people were debating over the fact that, did the top streamers really need more people into it? But from a business aspect, if I'm a game developer and I want to push my content out to as many people as possible, I'm going to have the biggest names on Twitch play the game. And
Right.
Ninja, who is the Fortnite streamer, that's how everybody knows Ninja, Fortnite, 271,000 viewers, while the top 5 guys on Twitch were all playing that same game. And mind you, it's not like those guys were hitting low numbers. Tim and Shroud was at 60,000 viewers. Tim was at 40,000. So, I mean,
Mhm.
he's the highest guys on Twitch aren't even close.
Right.
Shroud is the second most subscribed on Twitch, and Ninja has him, I think, by like 70 or 80,000 subs. That's insane. And
That is
Shroud sits
crazy.
at like a 60,000 sub number on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's so wild to me, like how he's able to. He saw the Fortnite window, man, and he just made the right choices. I see people asking, like Duff asked, how did he get to that level? And they touch
Yeah.
on that in the article. If you read it, he says, so I always thought that he played the metrics and he thought he knew this was coming ahead of time, like the BR part of it, and he was playing Save the World, and that wasn't the case. He was playing something, I don't remember if it was PUBG or whatever, and people kept talking about Fortnite in his channel. Oh, this new
Yeah.
BR, this new BR, and he went and checked it out, and he saw the potential of it before anybody else did. He saw the finish line, before most people saw the beginning of the race, and he jumped all over it. So who's in the top of the category of Fortnite every time? Ninja. So even if he was at 10,000 viewers, let's say, at the time, he's top of the category at that number. And now all these kids
Right.
want to know what Fortnite is. Nobody goes and watches a game trailer. I don't watch game trailers anymore if I want to know what a game is. I go watch somebody streaming it.
Right.
So think about that aspect to every kid under 15 years old. That's all they do is watch Twitch now. They're all typing Fortnite in and seeing this dude with pink hair or purple hair doing a pon or dressed like a Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? He stands out, and on top of that, he's disgusting at these
Yeah.
video games. It's insane. So
Yeah.
he's mind-blowingly successful, and he saw the window, and I think he just capitalized fully on it. But like you
I
you
mean,
had mentioned the fact that he talked about not losing the top spot, which I think is a huge thing if you want to talk about that a
yeah.
little.
Um, I don't know about that specifically.
Well, like more so he said how like a lot of these guys get comfortable when they get to the top and they don't care and they let it get overtaken, and he doesn't plan
Yeah,
on
I
allowing
mean,
that to happen.
yeah, I mean, essentially just, not taking time off, being consistent, always streaming, taking those risks, like Fortnite was a risk to switch over. I think he was playing PUBG. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I think he was playing PUBG, but to switch from PUBG to Fortnite, it was a risk, but he makes smart decisions and he's really good at playing video games. And I think another thing that he was playing H1Z1, not PUBG, okay. Um, Another thing that he mentions is practicing and not just playing the game, which I think is really important also if you want to be a competitive gamer, because Ninja, I mean, he's entertaining and as big as he is, that might even be a part of, why people are so attracted to him because, he's just popular. But he actually practices where to be a better player. There's so many people that'll stream or play Fortnite and they'll play game after game after game, but they won't actually analyze what they need to do to be in a situation in the game where they're going to handle it differently and win and be better and improve. And he's so focused on actually improving his gameplay. That's another reason why he can pull off these insane like trick shots and just I don't know, you've everyone's seen his videos, like the really famous like play of the games. I don't know what you call them in Fortnite. I don't watch Fortnite or play it, but like, he's really good and he invests his time to actually improve his gameplay.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think the skill level is a big draw of it too, obviously.
Yeah.
But like it's funny, you listen to a lot of these guys who have been playing this game for 8 months, 9 months now. Like they say the competitive end for them is so much gone now that now it's just like how can we win by doing the stupidest thing possible? Whether it be flying around, like you watch these guys, they almost torture people sometimes, and it's so terrible, but it's so funny at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's amazing.
It's the entertainment value of everything. It's how you feel about the guy on a personal level is fine, whether you like his content, don't like his content. There's a lot of people don't like Dr. Disrespect, but the man runs a
Hmm.
business. All these guys at the
Yeah.
top, they're running a business. This is their
Yeah.
livelihood. And I think like you mentioned it earlier, it's one of the biggest things he talks about. you know it's easy to say like 500K a month, yeah, I'm set for life, but if you really think about the amount of money you have to spend to be comfortable in your life, and not to mention the fact that you become accustomed to a certain lifestyle. They talk
Yeah.
about he lives in a gated community in $1 million house, and his next door
Yeah.
neighbors are Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
This is the level this guy is
Yeah.
on. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah.
he wants to make it, you put in 2 or 3 years of working to the bone pretty much, because that's what he's doing, and then
Right.
he can actually take a step back.
Right. And that's really crazy smart in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, take advantage of it while he can and, you know, set yourself up for a really comfortable future.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's like it's funny. Even in the article, she talks about how like when she went to his house the first time, and she pulled up to the security desk, and she said that she was here to see Tyler, whoever, and then said I can't ever say his last name, but then she said, "Ninja, do you know who he is?" And the guy showed her his laptop, and he was watching him stream.
Yeah.
It's not just. I mean, his audience is hugely younger, obviously, but
Right.
it's. I mean, I know people that watch Twitch that are 60 years old. I know people that stream on Twitch that are 60 plus years old. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just it's become so mainstream and it's just so crazy to think about. But this magazine cover is just it's next level huge. Like it's never did I think I would see somebody who played games competitively be on the front cover of ESPN.
I wonder what's going to happen in the future. Like, what does that mean going forward? Will we see more, esports coverage in ESPN magazines or,
I mean, they played
like,
what was it the Overwatch their grand final. I think their grand
yeah.
final in the prelim matches for that was
Uh-huh.
on ESPN. Prime time
Okay.
national coverage on ESPN. That issue, if I'm not mistaken, drops the first week of October. The article is online, but the issue is not actually out in stores yet.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Overwatch League, you look at something like that, esports in that sense, it's a $50 million buy-in to get a franchise team in the Overwatch League. And you know who the smartest people were? Because nobody really invested in it with a handful of different sports people, but the NBA. I think like 4 or 5 NBA team owners bought Overwatch teams
Really
because they knew that I mean, look at it.
interesting.
It's another thing. 200,000 viewers on Twitch when it first debuted, and then I don't think it ever really sat under 100K, maybe close,
Mm-hmm.
viewership wise. And then not only that, but I mean, they're selling out stadiums, they're selling merchandise, it's just insane how much
Yeah.
and how much coverage it gets. And like, I think it's TBS plays uh CS:GO tournaments on like esports e-league. I forget what they call it, but they stream like CS:GO tournaments on TV now on TBS all the time. So
Yeah.
it's becoming more mainstream, I think,
Yeah.
which is just it's huge for the platform. Like I had somebody ask me the other day if it was worth getting on Twitch still because it's so saturated and are you better
Mm-hmm.
off on a platform like Mixer or Facebook or whatever because it might blow up.
Yeah.
And I was like, not for nothing, but I really think this website hasn't even exploded yet. It's crazy
Yeah.
to think that he shattered the record when he played with Drake for concurrent viewers at like 670,000 people. But
Yeah.
I mean, to think about the amount of people that watch cable TV in the past 10 years, and then you just move that until you made me nervous, Autobot. I thought I didn't have audio. You move that until, 10 years from now, and this is the main platform. The amount of people that are just going to be here watching is insane. The ad revenue alone is just you see more and more mainstream ads now on Twitch. Like if you don't have Prime or you're not logged in,
Yeah.
you see ad content that you wouldn't have seen 2 years ago, let alone 5 or
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
You see Coca-Cola ads, you see car ads, stuff like that. It used to just be, World of Warcraft ads for new DLC or like a video game that's coming out. Now it's everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they're paying streamers to play movie trailers on their stream now. It's crazy. It's absolutely
Yeah.
crazy.
I remember a few years ago when Black Ops 2 was like the main FPS, and it was like Optic versus FaZe, and it was like this huge tournament, and it was like the finale of like this tournament, and I was so hyped to watch this game. I remember like putting my laptop at like the dining room table and like watching it with my parents and my sister, and um it was like, for me it was like watching a football game or like watching the Super Bowl or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy to think that it might actually be on cable TV now, where you won't have to, I don't know, like I did, throw my laptop at my, you know
Mm-hmm.
dining room table to watch the game or whatever. You can just, flip on ESPN and watch it on TV or whatever, which would be really, really awesome.
It's just for anybody that like I talk about this at work a lot. So I work with a wide range of ages in my job, and I have a lot of guys who
Mm,
are in their 50s and above, and they don't understand this
yeah.
at all. And
Yeah.
but they don't get it until you watch. You can't show somebody who doesn't understand Twitch like a variety streamer who's playing some RPG game. Oh my God, Sil, you didn't turn off the bit alert. That was so loud. And it's hidden because I moved it. Sorry. Thank you for the bits. That made me deaf. I'm sorry for everybody in the chat who's deaf. Um, woke everybody up. Hello.
Rip.
But you can't show them playing like The Witcher or something like that. They're not going to understand that. But I can turn on a round of competitive CSGO with shoutcasting and explain what the objective is to kill the other team.
Yeah.
And they will get it. They will fully understand it after watching it a few rounds and seeing the fact that like they sell out stadiums for this.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely crazy. I mean, it is not football. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not a contact sport. But I remember when there was debates over whether cheerleading was a sport or whether dancing was a sport. And again, the argument will be those take physical activity. But you think about guys like that are on these pro teams, and it's why Shroud caught a lot of flack when he was still playing for Cloud9 and streaming PUBG, is that he was going home and he wasn't playing 16 hours of CSGO with the team in his off time. He was streaming 16 hours of PUBG. And then they were losing games, and it was the question of, is Shroud practicing enough? But these teams make their guys commit to like 6 days a week. They're on their computers 16 hours a day playing CSGO. Or playing
they
Overwatch.
move them into houses. Yeah.
FaZe was, I think, I was listening to one of the guys was playing the other day with like Ninja and all them, and he was saying how FaZe has 3 different houses, or 3 or 4 different houses in LA right now with teams in it. And 3 of them are right next to each other. But these aren't like, this is how you know it's a serious thing and it's big money. These aren't like rinky-dink, you know, apartments where they're sleeping 2 to a room. These are $1 million homes they're putting these kids up in that are 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid from FaZe, I can't remember his name, the young one, who is now, I think, just like 19 or whatever, or 18. The kid has a Bugatti.
Really?
Like, from playing CSGO.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane to me. It's crazy. Like, the fact that this has become such a mainstream thing. His name is A4. So I don't read chat when I do this. Have a good night, though. But I will say that regardless of how you feel about all of this, at the bottom line, it is absolutely great for the platform. And for the future of anybody that wants to do this and have it be a legitimate thing where people take you seriously. Because even these guys, with the exception of maybe Ninja right now, your top streamers can't walk up to somebody and they're like, what do you do? And you're like, I stream on Twitch. And they're like, that's not a job.
Yeah.
That's the first thing out of everybody's mouth. That's not a job. And Ninja even touches on that in the article. How, you know, people always say to him, like, they don't get that it's not just sitting there in a chair playing video games.
Right.
But I think we beat this ESPN Ninja topic to death.
I'm glad we talked about it because I was actually really excited to see it. I personally like Ninja, so it made me really happy to see him get that, and I think it's gonna do great things for, you know, the gaming industry and Twitch for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for all of you in the chat right now, if you want, you can join in on the Discord if you do !stream key. Hi, Bahammer. And you can also submit questions in the chat or in the Discord if you do not want to get into the voice chat. But people in voice chat get priority for questions. But we missed some time.
Hello? Hello? Oh no. Can you hear me? She's talking. You can hear me. Okay, cool. This is my Stop being annoying. Yep. Mm-hmm. Still no Snoop. Oh, I'm back. You're going in and out. I can't hear Snoop at all. I don't need to be able to hear him, right? It's fine. You're the captain now? I know I'm the captain. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about The Sims, Cass. Oh, The Sims. By the way, I lost all my save data for The Sims. I like, by the way, but I just built my
Hi.
PC. Oh, hi.
Jesus.
Good morning.
Chat, I want you all to know it took everything in me not to swear right there when I finally got my mic to work. So everybody tell Green that I was behaved and I didn't swear on the True channel.
We're very proud of you. We're so proud.
So for all of you that don't have a second PC, the one downfall to virtually mixing your audio through Voicemeeter is that every once in a while stuff drops out and you have to reselect it, but it wasn't working. So that's why we're where we are now.
It's almost as if having one PC
Hey, listen.
is better.
How's the stream quality though, chat? Am I stuttering at all? I didn't think so.
Touche.
You won't either once everything's working, but anyway. All right. So anyways, what I was saying before all the audio died is that Cooley's been dying for us to answer this question since last week. So I was saying we were going to take questions from last week until people want to submit questions. As for Cooley's question, I want to preface this a little bit. It was in regards to Tfue and his ban from Twitch after he raided, and there was controversy over what was said in the chat. So instead of touching on the Tfue thing, because I couldn't find anything to confirm what actually happened in his ban, because there was some debate over whether he typed something in the chat or not. But pretty much what I wanted to touch on was your responsibility for your community in your chat once you raid a channel, especially if it's somebody you don't know. So like if I was to take the TRUgaming channel right now and I was to raid into some random stream and you all went in there and were incredibly toxic and said racist things and, all sorts of inappropriate TOS violations, should I receive a ban for that? Because that was the rumor. Supposedly Tfue, who's a FaZe member, supposedly he was banned because his chat went into a stream and said racist things. There's debate over whether or not that's true, but the core of the question here is, can you truly be held responsible for what your chat does outside of your stream? And to what extent and what regard should you be held responsible for them? I'm going to let you start that one.
I mean, well, I guess the question for me would be were they just toxic once you raided someone, or were they toxic to begin with? Because I guess for me, if I'm having a bunch of very toxic people in my chat, then they're gonna be banned or timed out or whatever. I don't tolerate that in my chat. So that wouldn't really come along with a raid to somebody. But like, I guess, I don't know. Like, did he say something that maybe caused them to be toxic in the new stream? Or I know we're not really talking about him specifically, but if you're responsible, if I raid somebody and I see my chat that went to the raid being rude and disrespectful, I would be more than happy to whisper the streamer I rated and say, please feel free to ban this person. I'm sorry that they're acting this way. Now, if you're rating on a scale of like thousands of people, like what do you do in that situation? I have no idea. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
So I think it's more so on the fact of it. So from what I understand, and like, not to keep beating Ninja to death here, but I've witnessed a Ninja raid to a small streamer. So there was a guy who was like on road to 1,000 playing Fortnite with like 10 viewers. Ninja ended his morning stream and raided this kid, and the chat went insane. Obviously, he didn't have a moderation team in place to handle something like that because he went from 10 viewers to 10,000 because by the time
Poor
the fall
guy.
off and everything. But the long and short of it is, like, I looked at his chat and there was like you ever see when people draw things out in characters? So there's some guy, stroking it in the chat, essentially in chat characters. And that's all
Hmm.
that was getting pasted. That's all you saw was like penises made out of characters on the keyboard, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the guy got so whacked out and didn't know what to do that he put his chat in a follower only mode and made it at least a half an hour. And then people would donate him the message so it would show up on his
Oh my
stream.
God.
The point being, though, at what point are you responsible for your chat? And this is what kind of leads me to believe that the Tfue thing was a little more on Tfue because he must have done something. Because that happens all the time when bigger streamers raid smaller people. And especially big partner streamers like Ninja, or like I've seen Tim raids that can get a little out of control and stuff like that. I think that in the case where, like you were saying, you could message the streamer and say, hey, listen, feel free to ban these people. But it's one thing, like, if it was me or you and we had like 2 or 3 people that were acting like idiots in the chat,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we can rectify that. But I don't think Ninja can be like, hey, ban 10,000 people from your chat. Sorry about the raid. And obviously it helped the kid out. The kid went from 900 followers to 10,000 that day. But it's just, I don't know how responsible you are. Per TOS, it's a little, it's kind of, you have to, from what I understand from the way TOS is written, you have to encourage said behavior for it to become your thing. So, like, if Bahammer was to leave here, let's say, just to, because his name is in yellow and popping up in my face, and say some wild
Mhm.
craziness in somebody else's chat, if I told him to go do that, then absolutely, that's on me. I should get banned.
Mhm.
You see that stuff on Twitter all the time. Every once in a while, you're scrolling through, somebody retweet one of those drama tweets about how they're being attacked by so-and-so streamer and they're sending viewers into my chat, blah, 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 blah. That was what
Yeah.
Twitch was trying to curb, I think, with their new TOS in the way they wrote it. Because now they're making you responsible even if you're in Discord trying to do it. So if I'm in your Discord,
Right.
let's say, and I'm like, hey, this guy really pissed me off tonight. He did all this. Let's go into his Twitch channel and, burn it down. Let's troll him till the end of days. And
Yeah.
I now can be held responsible for that. Or like if I came in and
Right.
said that and you endorsed it, like I said, oh, this guy's breaking my stones on Twitch, da da da, and you were like, everybody go in there and troll him. I
Right.
think that's on you, obviously.
So so for me, like toxic raids and hateful raids are a thing. Like
Mhm.
they've happened, they exist on Twitch and it's a problem. But um for me, and this might be a very unpopular opinion, but I tend to typically side with Twitch when they act on something like banning a streamer. So I think Tfue got banned, and then I don't know if the ban was lifted. I don't know. That's not really what I'm trying to get at. But like, if this happened and this toxic raid was going down and people were reporting it and it was getting on Twitch's radar, if that means that Twitch had to ban him just to just to be safe for several hours so they could investigate what happened. I don't think that is the wrong call.
Mhm.
So I like if we're talking about wrongful banning, I know Cooley kind of touched on that when he was bringing this topic up. Like, was Tfue wrongly banned? Well, he may have been, but I think that the way to mitigate this problem, I think Twitch went about it the right way. Like, who knows how they get these reports coming in? It just all of a sudden they're getting a ton of reports about, a toxic raid, or it's on Twitter blowing up their social media or whatever. If that means that, they're like, okay, well, right now we're just going to ban Tifu so we can investigate what happened. That typically, that, like, to me, I wouldn't be mad if that happened. Well, I can't say I don't think I'd be mad if that happened to me, if I felt like it was fairly analyzed and researched. Like, maybe it
Hmm.
wasn't his fault. Maybe his chat was just really toxic. Like, I don't think, Ninja rating that guy, I don't think Ninja's at fault because his chat just decided to be immature jerks in this streamer's, chat. I don't think that's Ninja's fault, and I don't think he's necessarily responsible for that situation. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with a temporary ban to try and just figure out what's happening.
Yeah,
But that's
no,
just me.
I'm kind of on the same page with you on that. Like, and my whole thing is, it's not like it was even. It obviously wasn't a temp ban because he was banned for a good amount of time. So there was obviously something. Twitch, especially Tifu, it's not like he's a small streamer. You know what I mean? It's not
Hmm.
like he's a 1,000 viewer guy, and that's a huge number, obviously. But in the grand scheme of what goes on when he plays Fortnite, he's up in the tens of thousands of viewers. So it's
Right.
huge money for Twitch. You know what I mean? It's huge money for
Right.
Twitch to. It's going to cost them a good chunk of change to ban a guy that they're making a ton of ad revenue and sub revenue off of.
Hmm.
So they're not just going to do it because they don't have a, because for no reason, or because somebody said
Right.
that he caused the toxic
Right.
raid.
Right.
And like, I see what Venom said about how, Tifu, he doesn't like toxic chat, stuff like that. But you got to remember, a guy like him specifically, and I know we weren't going to touch on him too much, but he has been banned previously for saying
Right.
racist things on his stream. While he chalked it
Right.
up to a joke, it doesn't work that way. You can't
Right.
you can't do something and be like, "Oh, I was only kidding," or "That's not how I meant it." Like, come on,
Yeah.
dude. It is what it is, at that point. And that's the kind of behavior you want to have. That's fine. So for Twitch to probably, was it a little bit easier for them to go, yeah, probably. You have a record of doing these things, then
Yeah.
obviously Twitch is going to lean on that side. But then look at Lyric. For those of you that don't know, Lyric was playing the beta with Shroud of all people, and it was pretty funny. He was playing the COD Blackout beta, and he got banned in the middle of his stream, and he had no idea why. He was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I. He's like, he was in Shroud's stream still, because they were playing together, and he's like, chat, did I say something? He's like, did I miss something? Like, what did I do? He's like, and then
Right.
he was smart. They were both smart. He's like, Shroud, I can't play with you right now. He's like, I gotta go because I don't want to get you banned. And then come to find out, there was a there was a copyright strike against his channel, essentially, like YouTube does. And
Hmm.
like, me and Cass have talked about this, and she knows a little more about that side of it, so I'm going to let her go into detail. But the long and short was, he was banned due to Twitch's safe haven policy, which I will allow Cass to expand on because I'm not going to word it correctly. But the long and
Yeah. I
short of
mean,
it was, they
yeah.
had to ban him, and then he was
Yeah.
unbanned an hour later.
Yeah.
But I'll let Cass get into the whole detail of how it works, kind of.
I mean, yeah, I work with DMCA complaints often, and it's a legal issue. It's the law. So when a valid DMCA complaint is filed against you, like, for, especially with streams, and this doesn't, apply just to Twitch, it applies to all streaming platforms. You have such a short window of time to act when it comes to a live stream. So, like, it's different if there's like a copyrighted image hosted on like DeviantArt or whatever, where it's hosted there and like you have time to take it down. But with Twitch streams, like, a stream is live for just a few hours and then it's gone. So when those DMCA complaints come in, they have to be actioned right away. And obviously that's not Twitch's fault at all. It has nothing to do with Twitch. It has everything to do with safe harbor status, which you can read up on that. But it's really good for a company who provides a hosting service, like, streaming or hosting videos or images, to keep safe harbor status. I think it's the law, actually. Um, so yeah, they have to take action, and of course they knew it was not, it was not right, and it was a big misunderstanding. I don't even know what ended up happening, if we got any details out of it, but Lyric, it was Lyric, right? Yeah, Lyric,
Yeah.
he can, he can file, something against the person that submitted the copyright claim, or the DMCA complaint. It's probably just some company that submitted it. But yeah, like that also, I kind of also side with Twitch on. When those things happen, I usually take the side of Twitch, because I understand that they didn't have a choice. It was, let me cut your stream off now and apologize, or let this happen, and then we lose our safe harbor status and we can no longer be in operation on the internet at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I totally get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that too. I think that, first of all, you got to look at it from the point of view of Twitch. So, like, I talk about lost revenue. That goes to show you how important those claims are, because
Right.
it's not like Lyric's another one. At the time, I think he was at 30,000 viewers. That's huge money for Twitch that they just said no. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, because it's
Yeah.
worth more to them to lose that hour of revenue that Lyric's not going to be on than it is for them to go through the legal battle if there was a true copyright issue that was going on. And it was
Right.
some like European Federation of Soccer or some crazy thing like that, and everybody kept joking that he was playing FIFA and whatever, but the long and short of
Mm.
it was a false claim.
Yeah.
And Twitch did their job, and even Lyric said it on stream. He's like, listen, I can't be mad at Twitch. He's like, Twitch did exactly what they're supposed to do. He's like,
Yeah.
I can turn around and counterclaim and sue whoever made the complaint and whatever. He's like, but I'm not going to
Right.
waste my time and money. He goes,
Right.
because it's going to cost me just as much money as if I'm going to make anything to even go after them.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the nature of the business. It happens to people on YouTube so much more than it
Yeah.
happens on Twitch, because
Right.
live stream, like you said, live streaming has to be an instant thing, but I think it's a lot harder to report. I don't think any random user can go and copyright strike a video on Twitch. I don't really know the process, but there's like specific companies that monitor it that represent these organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when the music bans happened, like everybody was going after the guy who made the music. And hindsight 2020, come to find out it wasn't the guy that made the music. It was the production company that put his music out. Because the
Yeah.
guy, publicly said, he's like, I don't care if they use my music, they can use my music, they have my permission.
Yeah.
And the problem is the company doesn't interact with the artist and say, hey, this person's playing your music. They just say, hey, Twitch, take this down. We own that.
Yeah.
So it's something you got to
Well,
be
in that
careful with.
company, the production company, they hire, it's not even really them personally doing it. They also hire a company. They hire people that scour the internet for copyrighted material. And then that company, so it's like it's a third party of a third party
Hmm.
that's submitting these complaints. And they do a great job. They take down a lot of copyrighted stuff off the internet that doesn't belong to people that are hosting it, but there are mistakes that happen. And there's also a lot of communication that's kind of lost when you're working with different people. So
Yeah, well, true. We kind of segued into this by mistake. This wasn't originally supposed to be the topic. This was supposed to be about you guys and being toxic. But anyway, toxic comments like that. Stop harassing me, True.
dang.
But yeah, so that pretty much covers the bases on that. There's a few other topics, and like I said, you guys can call in if you'd like. You can do !stream key in the chat. It'll link you to the Discord, or you can post a question in the chat if you have any. Priority obviously goes to callers, and I know it's late, but or early for some of you. Thank you, True.
Early.
Playing music on streams and vlogs shouldn't be illegal. There is a thing called fair use, but fair use is very limited. And I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to get into the whole legality of it, but there's a reason, because otherwise everybody loses money.
Yeah.
So there was a question from Firemaker last week that we didn't get to, and it says, do you approach your stream as a business career or more as a hobby, and which do you think is better in general for growth and for you personally? I'm not telling you nothing legal, Khaleesi. You ain't gonna hold me to that. But Cass, what do you think about it? At least personally, on your end, do you think that you approach streaming more as a business or more as a hobby or a little bit of both?
I think for me it's like a hobby that I treat as a business, I guess. So definitely kind of a bit of both. It's not my dream to be a full-time streamer and have that as my career. I have other passions that I'm pursuing as a career. Playing video games and interacting with my following, my viewers, is my hobby, and it's something that I love to do when I get home from a long day of work. And yeah, so I take it serious enough and treat it. I don't know if I would say I treat it as a career. I put time into it sometimes that like I don't want to. Maybe that's kind of what that might mean, is like for
Mm,
me, I don't necessarily want to spend 3 hours on a Saturday setting up my stream overlay and making sure all my OBS settings are right, and fixing all of this stuff, setting up my bots and managing my Discord. That stuff to me is like the business side of it. That's not the fun part for me. The fun part is playing games and hanging out with my internet family, you
mm-hmm,
know? So like that's kind of where sometimes it feels kind of like a business or like a part-time job. And then the actual streaming is like the fun time, the hobby time, the social time.
mm-hmm.
So kind of a little bit of both. What about you? How do you feel?
No, I mean, I think part-time job would the best way to describe
Part-time
it.
job.
Just because first of all, I love streaming, and much like you, I get out of work and it's sometimes it's like the brightest part of my day because I get to,
Yeah.
as much as it can be stressful sometimes, especially trying to be entertaining and upbeat and,
Yeah.
just trying to put on a show essentially, because at the end of the day, that's what this is. It doesn't mean that
Hmm.
I genuinely care about the people that come in and talk to me. That's not what I mean at all. But
Yeah.
I have this personality regularly. It's just amplified. So it is a little
Hmm.
bit like work, but like you said, I have spent many of my days off from stream sitting in After Effects making graphics like the one you're looking at right now, or, making these videos for stuff about, you know, my be right back videos that I do every once in a while, or,
Yeah.
intro videos, or like you said, alerts, changing
Yeah.
bots, updating settings.
Yeah.
Like I spent my entire night Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. getting my audio right, and it still broke tonight. Um, it's just that kind of stuff. You invest an enormous amount of time into something to be able to call this just a hobby. I guess people
Yeah.
invest enormous amount of times into hobbies, but hobbies cost money. I don't think they cost as much money as Twitch in some examples, depending on
Yeah.
how deep in you get. Like myself or Cass can recently attest to spending way too much money on something that's a hobby. But I consider it an investment, and most of the time I consider it an investment in the people that I get to hang out with every night. Do I think
Yeah.
it's great that my view count goes up and yeah, and there's people and everybody's hanging out and whatever? It's awesome to
Yeah.
see the numbers, but it's even more awesome to know the fact that I get to hang out with 20 something people that I wouldn't normally hang out with and talk to, and,
Yeah.
be able to either find out about their day or, crack up laughing because I'm playing video games in a bathrobe. That's never happened except last night. But, stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
where I'm never gonna play Super Seducer 2 by myself
Mm.
in my house, not on stream, in some bathrobe with my lights dimmed, and like it's just something you wouldn't do on your own, and it's funny and it's fun to do, but you would just never do it if you weren't streaming. At least I wouldn't. I don't know about some people.
Right.
But it's
Right.
just, it's hard. I think it's for everybody, or it's a personal question for everybody. I mean, it's easy for
Yeah.
both of us to sit here and tell you what we think because it
Yeah.
works for us. I work
Yeah.
40 plus hours a week and then I come home and I
Right.
stream another 15 to 20. So
Right.
it's a part-time job no matter how you look at it. And whether I make no
Right.
money or I make a lot of money, you know, I'm
Mm,
doing it regardless. So it's kind of hard
right.
to slap job on the title because I'm not getting a consistent paycheck, if that makes sense. The money's just a
Yeah.
bonus, and 99% of the
Right.
time, the money goes right back into it anyway.
Right.
You know, all these
100%
investments
agree.
of new things or giveaways or whatever you do, most of the time, at least for me, the money just goes back into it. So
Yeah.
I guess it's a hobby. The more I talk about it, because I'm not driving, you know, a Maserati outside. So until I'm
Um,
driving Maseratis, but
Dang, Maseratis.
listen, I went cheap there.
Um, to bring it back to Ninja, which I know we're not trying to do, but
Mhm.
I just happened to have this open, and it was one of the points I wanted to touch on is that he worked at Noodles and Company, and he dropped out of community college once he felt comfortable
The
streaming full
number.
time. And I think that's something that, you know, you and I we've talked about before. But like, what would it take for you? And this is a question that like all of you streamers can ask yourselves is like, what would it take for you to do this full time, to make this a career, to make this a job? You know, so like for Ninja, it says that he felt comfortable when he was making around 80 to $90,000 a year. That's when he felt comfortable quitting his job, dropping out of college, and saying, I'm going to do this. You know, because you have to think like, you know, where's your 401k coming from? Where is your health insurance coming from? These things that, you know, your job offers you, those are things you then have to provide for yourself, right? So it's not even just like your salary every year. um but yeah, like definitely that's different for everyone, right? Like maybe someone else feels comfortable making 50,000 a year where, you know, I don't know, like you have to kind of ask yourselves those questions and um, prepare that way and have those goals.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because I completely forgot about that part of the Ninja article, and that was a big thing I wanted to talk about. You know, not to,
Yeah.
like you said, beat the dead horse, but it's such a
Yeah.
great point. I mean, people, I guarantee people read that number and they're like, oh, this guy's greedy. You
Right.
got to think about the fact that, let's say, just for a number's sake, you make $50,000 a year currently, or your current job. You are in a
Hmm.
comfortable position where you're able to pay all your bills, not struggle, have some extra money. What you're not
Yeah.
factoring into that is, so people would say, "Oh, if I make 50, you know, if I make $50,000 a month or $50,000 a year streaming, I can just quit. I can quit my job
Yeah.
and be done with it." That's all fine and great. No one is factoring in the cost of health insurance, the cost of
Right.
having security, because that's enormous. Because Ninja even says it, this could all disappear tomorrow. You don't know what's going to
Hmm.
happen. This isn't guaranteed. So
Right.
you got to be at a very consistent number, in my opinion, for a good amount of time. I think there's so many people that go full time way too early, and there's so many people that wait way too long. And
Yeah.
it's, again, it's like everybody, it's a case by case basis. And you know, I think A4 mentioned it, the partnership. A lot of people say, "Oh, if I get partner, I'm going to quit my job and full time stream."
Right.
No,
No.
no, that check mark
Yeah.
doesn't mean a thing,
Right.
because unless you have plans for after that check mark where
Yeah.
you can keep going up and up and up, you can't just quit your job. Like it's,
Right.
we were talking about, you know, I'm not going to name names, but there's a streamer that we know who is
Hmm.
partnered who quit their job to full-time stream, and then 2 months later they were back to work.
Right.
Just because you have the check mark does not mean that you can just quit your job and go full-time on Twitch. If
Yeah.
I was 18 years old and I decided I'm not going to college, or I'm going to take a year off from college and I'm just going to stream full time and not do anything else, and I had my parents to support me and
Yeah.
say, you know, they were okay with it, then fine. I'm all for it. But when you're an
Hmm.
adult and you have responsibilities and, you know, a mortgage and car payments and rent payments and, you know, just every payment that makes me sick to my stomach every month that I have to pay, you know, it's just like you can't just throw your hands up in the air anymore. It's, and I see so many
Yeah.
people do it. They're like, "Oh, you know, somebody has a
Yeah.
great month. Oh, I made 4 grand on Twitch last month." Okay.
Yeah.
Do you make four
Yeah.
grand every month consistently?
Yeah.
No, you made it for that 1
Yeah.
month and then you went back down to 500 or 1,000 or whatever. You know, it's tough. It really is
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. Like, and I was thinking that exact thing when I was reading that article earlier when he was talking about, I take a day off and I lose, what was it, 40,000
Yeah.
subs or something crazy. Like I get to take a day off and I get like a paid vacation day. Like I don't
Mhm.
lose any of my money to take a day off. Or if I'm not feeling well, I can take a sick day. Or, like those are benefits that come with having to not be your own boss or work for yourself,
Mhm.
right? So like or work on Twitch, I guess I should say. It just makes it challenging. And it's definitely there's a lot to consider and there's a lot to think about. But that's a really good question. And I think more people should talk about it because, like you said, I think a lot of people quit their day jobs way too soon and then, they're in situations that, they wouldn't have been in.
Mhm.
So,
No, I completely agree, and I think yeah, it's just something everybody really needs to rationally sit down. It's easy. Like I joke with my wife all the time that I'm just gonna quit my job and stream. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I don't want to go to work. I just want to sit here and play
yeah.
video games on Twitch. Like
Yeah.
it's fun to say and it's cool to think about every once in a while, but then a lot of people, like you brought up the fact that you're your own boss in the sense that you're responsible for your money every way, shape, and
Yeah.
form. So like the days off
Yeah.
thing, I couldn't imagine. First of all, I know how I am, and I'm not a greedy person in that sense, but I'm a frugal person, and if I know something is
Mhm.
doing well and making money, I'm going to do my best to make sure that that keeps happening or that increases. So,
Right.
like you said, Ninja loses 40,000. He loses $70,000 in a day off from Twitch.
Yeah.
Potential, obviously the number fluctuates,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
would never not be on Twitch. And I,
Right.
I I know it sounds absurd and it sounds greedy and it sounds crazy, but I want to maximize my potential like any other business owner.
Mhm.
And you ask any business owner, whether they're the guy that sells bagels or, the guy that's the CEO of Amazon that owns Twitch,
Yeah.
nobody's looking at it going, it's not a big deal if we lose 70 grand today. No,
Right.
no, no, no,
Right.
absolutely not. You're not in this business for the sake of just being in business to say, oh, I have a business. You're in business
Mhm.
to make money. You're in business to be successful. And you're not going to
Yeah.
stop once you hit a certain level of success because that,
Mhm.
everybody talks about Ninja. Oh, he mentions peaking. He's so afraid of peaking. He's so afraid of peaking and he's doing
Yeah.
everything in his power not to peak. And
Right.
it's a hard thing to comprehend, but you don't want to hit your cap and you don't want to lose everything you've worked for. And every time he takes a day off, that's what happens. And that's like anybody else, the owner of every company in the world isn't going to sit down and tell you, you know, we hit $500,000 this year. We're all done. We can take a
Yeah.
week off. We'll reset. 500's the cap. We don't need any more money.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to sit down and say that. And you can sit here and say it all you want till you're blue in the face because, I'm
Yeah.
not that person, but nobody trying to be successful in this kind of business is the person that's
Yeah.
going to sit there and be like, oh, it's not a big deal if I lose a bunch of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it'd be stupid to think that way.
oh my God, you'd be absolutely out of your mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely out of your mind. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bahamr
ooh.
kind of mentioned something that we've kind of touched on. I don't know how much
Mhm.
we want to talk about it now, but like, what is the lifespan of a streamer? If you were
Ooh.
40, would you still be would you still be full time?
I
And
like that.
this is a really interesting topic that
Hmm.
we've kind of mentioned in the past. But I would love to talk about this. What do streamers do? Like, I don't know if I personally would feel, I don't know, like when I'm 40, do I want to like turn on my stream to make money for the day? Like, is that what I want to do? Like being a streamer, do you have to set yourself up for I don't know, for different projects for a career after your stream? Do you need to not only focus on growing your stream but also growing yourself in other areas so that way you can be prepared when it all ends or when it all slows down or whatever? Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's such a weird thing to think about. So, oh man, at 40 years old, would I don't know. I feel like now it's easy for me to say that I might not have an issue
Yeah.
with it because I do
Yeah.
it now. Do I think I
Right.
might be able to start doing this at 40? I don't know. I mean, I'm not 40, but it's like I see streamers like we were talking about this a little earlier before we started. There's streamers of all ages now on Twitch. It's crazy. You know, but the longevity, I see Khaleesi's yelling stuff in the chat
Yeah, she's yelling.
accidentally yelling. But she brings up the retirement point, and that kind of
Yeah.
encompasses what we're talking about now. How
Yeah.
long do I have to stream to hit that point? And I'm 28 now. In 10 years from now, am I still going to be sitting here streaming? Am I still
Yeah.
going to be, are people still going to want to watch me? It's not even so much, am I going to want to do it? It's,
Yeah.
as you age, I assume your content is going to age with you, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to act like an old crotchety person on your stream, but your content is going to develop as you age and you grow and you learn. So
Yeah.
somebody who watches me now, unless they're a viewer that continues to grow with you, because that's the other question: is your community going to stay growing with you as these tiers come on and on and on? You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
in 5 years, do I think I might have, a handful of the people that originally watched me who have grown with
Yeah.
me. And then,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about how much it could change that quickly. And
Mhm.
then at the same time, the longevity of the retirement. But like you mentioned about your aspirations and like where do you go and that kind of stuff. And I think actually Ashney Christ, for those of you that don't know her, has touched on this a little bit before, and like even Ninja touched on it in the article, everything like that. You have to be smart. And like Professor Broman, I listen to a lot of his podcasts. It's much like these. It's very streamer oriented, and he talks about stuff like that. You
Mhm.
you can't be one track focused if this is truly what you want to do as a career and something that is sustainable in the long term. So you
Mhm.
can't just sit on Twitch. You need to be pushing
Right.
content to YouTube. You need to be pushing content to Instagram. You need to be pushing content to Twitter and everything else. You need to broaden your horizons outside of just hitting the go live button, because you're missing a ton of potential revenue and a ton of potential growth and eyes on you on other platforms.
Mhm.
Something like YouTube where you can upload clips and highlights and stuff like that. And then Instagram, you can throw up a clip here and there, or, a selfie, or, a picture of your pet in the background, just to give somebody an idea of what it's like behind the scenes. But then what a lot of them talk about is smart investing. And for some
Mhm.
reason, coffee apparently is like the thing to do if you're a streamer. Like you buy a coffee brand or make your own
Yeah.
coffee brand. Like I've seen like seven
Yeah.
different people now that have.
Yeah.
The one that pops into my mind is obviously Broman and or Gathalion. I never say his name right, but they own King Coast Coffee. Dr. Lupo is part of that, so I'll give you a name that a lot of people would know in comparison because of Fortnite. But it's just like it's just like, Bahammer, you laugh, you mentioned weed stocks, but look at Josh OG. Josh OG lives in Colorado. He literally is sponsored and I believe has partial ownership of some recreational marijuana business out there where it's all legal, by the way, before everybody freaks out. Um, my point is that I think to make this a longevity thing, to get into the later years of doing this, you need to be doing more than just Twitch. I don't think this is something that's sustainable if it's the only thing you do. I think that you need to branch out, you need to invest, you need to have merchandise, you need to have YouTube, you need to have other avenues of making this profitable outside of just
Yeah.
streaming and banking on donations. Nobody in the top 25 doesn't sell merchandise, doesn't have YouTube, doesn't have, all their social media consistently pushing on top of everything else they sell. They're sponsored by Monster, they're paid to push brands. It's not just I turn on my stream and I go live.
Yeah.
If you want this something that's longevity and something that's a viable, possible self-made business. I do not want to call this a career. I hate calling this a career because a career, in my opinion, is something that you can do up to retirement and then retire
Mhm.
from. You
Mhm.
can't retire from Twitch.
Right.
You can invest your money smartly. You can save money and put money away so that you can air quote retire and just stop doing it, but they're not going to
Yeah.
send you a check once you stop going live.
Right.
So it always kind of bothered me when people said this was a career because it's not.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Right.
And
Right.
Twitch is the hosting platform for your business. Twitch is the guy you lease your building from, essentially.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Twitch is your landlord. You pay Twitch a percentage to be able to be in their space. And then
Yep.
whatever you make after that is on you. The only upside
Mhm.
is you're not required to pay Twitch $5,000 no matter how much you make a month.
Right.
But that's how people, I think, in my opinion, need to look at this. Because I
Well,
feel like too many
yeah.
people look at it as the short-sighted career. You know, you want to call it a career. I'm going to be a full-time streamer, and that's going to be my career. It's going to be your business
Mm.
because you're the one responsible for it. You're not. You're the one who makes all the decisions and everything you put out, with the exception of some TOS violation. But then again, it's like your landlord in your contract with your, lease agreement.
Right.
That's how you got to look at TOS. It's your lease agreement with the company that you're not going to,
Mhm.
kick holes in their walls.
Right.
So I think anybody that wants to do this in their later years, I would hope would be smart enough to sit back and realize that you need to have some kind of other avenue than just Twitch.
Well, I look at people, like Ninja. I keep using him as an example, but like Ali A on YouTube, I'm a big fan of him. I watch a lot of his stuff, or even Nade
Hmm.
Shot. They're using their platform to propel them into the business side of gaming. So like maybe when they're done streaming or done making YouTube videos, they have an esports team that they manage, or I know Ali A even does like some TV shows in the UK that are like cable television. Um, uh, just having any kind of plan to to I don't know, to have any kind of work once you complete a chapter of streaming or making YouTube videos or whatever.
Hmm.
And I think it's really good to kind of um, you know f- keep an eye on what those big Twitch streamers are doing. What are they investing their time in? Ninja hosts a huge Fortnite tournament. What does that mean for his future? Maybe he's gonna, you know, host more events like that, and that might be his business. That might be what comes of his future. But just branching out and definitely investing in yourself and just future proofing yourself,
Hmm.
for sure.
Smart business, to say the least.
Yeah.
But we have Sil in the voice channel, so I'm gonna drag him in.
Oh, okay.
And then Sil, don't yell when I drag you in here, because I don't know how loud you're gonna be. Hi.
Hello.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
hi.
perfect. I don't even really have to turn you down.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
So what is up, my dude?
Well, what I just wanted to drop in was, since we've been talking about the whole money thing, just to give people a little bit of perspective on it. My wife and I are actually both independent contractors, so we are literally our own bosses.
Hmm.
We run individual sole proprietorships, and then we contract out to companies that pay us for the work we do, which is very similar to what the people who Twitch full time do. Um, with that, between the two of us, we made a little over 60 grand last year. Um, Coming out of that for taxes is a little over 13,000.
Hmm.
So one thing you have to look at when you're doing this or thinking about doing this is that's 13,000 I can't touch. I have to have it sitting in a bank account staring me in the face for the whole year.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah. Until the IRS says, "Okay, give me a check."
Hmm.
And it's one of those things, if you don't plan for that and you don't think about that, you look at Ninja making $500,000 a year. Well, $500,000 a year before taxes, so he's sitting what, 320, 300 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to make sure he doesn't touch it. You know?
Yeah. No.
So I just wanted to give a little bit of perspective there for people.
No, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
and it's a great point because I mentioned everything but taxes when I went on my rant about the things that you don't take into consideration. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you for letting me be on. I will get out of your hair and let you get back to it.
Thank you.
you.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
totally forgot about taxes.
taxes, chat, and I shouldn't forget about them because they're coming up in like 2 months. Oh,
yeah.
everybody's favorite time of
Let's not
year.
think about it.
It doesn't exist. I'm just gonna be like Willie Nelson, just not paying them. Anyway, I'm kidding. Pay your taxes. You go to jail. They actually throw you in jail for that. Like one of those things. So it's guaranteed.
Jail. It's real.
Worry. So Azamat has a question. Speaking of taxes, does someone who has little income coming in from Twitch need to worry about taxes?
That's a really good question for your tax person.
Yeah.
I would ask your like H&R Block friendly H&R Block person. I've heard, I don't know if it varies from state, but I know that I've heard that if it's under a certain amount, you don't have to even worry about filing it. If it's like under $5,000 or $10,000 or something, I don't know. But do you know, Snoop?
No, but I'm kind of in the same boat from what I understand. I believe it's state to state, no matter what.
I filed my paperwork that came in from Twitch. I don't know if it hurt me. I don't think it did. I didn't notice a huge difference, so I don't think it made any difference with my taxes personally.
So Gamer Dad keeps saying I need to be careful about it. Again, it's definitely going to vary state to state when it comes to. So like I live in Connecticut, we have state income tax, so they tax my income here, which a lot of places don't have that. So this is technically income. Now the question is, so here's the thing, and this is why I'm not sure. So I look at the casino, as weird as that's going to sound. If you win anything under $10,000 at the casino, they do not tax you on it. They don't make you do a tax form or any of the above.
I thought it was 10,000.
But again, that's my state. I don't know how that works. As for, your federal taxes, I have a CPA. I have a certified public accountant. I don't even go to H&R Block anymore because it just got too complicated with deductions and stuff like that. Like my wife's a teacher, so you qualify for certain things, blah, 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 But the long and short of it is I have had a brief conversation with my tax guy about it. And he told me to call him if I crested over 5 and we'll talk more about it. He said, otherwise, I'm not really going to waste your time chatting your ear off over a couple $1,000s. He's like, because I'm going to make it up to you in write-offs. But that's my specific situation because I own a home. I own stuff I can write off in my state and on my federal taxes and stuff like that. So it's a little different for each person. The best advice I can give you is you need to talk to an accountant, and I would do it before January because you need to put a certain amount of money away if you're going to have to pay.
I think it's safe to just always assume that whatever income you're making, regardless of how, you should always just account for having to pay taxes on it.
So
that's just always the safe way to take that whole thing. She's an accountant.
So for all, so to give you an idea of my net that I give myself, I put 30% a month of whatever comes off this platform away. And that is because, if my accountant turns around and tells me, hey, you're paying taxes on all that money you made on Twitch, even if it's not a lot, and I'm going to go, now I'm putting money out of my pocket that I don't want to put out of my pocket. So I'd rather put it away as like almost like a secondary savings just for the, Twitch side of it. And worst case scenario, he tells me don't worry about it, and then that's a bunch of extra money I have. Best case scenario, or I'm sorry, best case scenario that happens. Worst case scenario, I have to give him said money. And I should have some left over, but at least I don't stress myself out with it. And it's easy to look at it and go, oh man, I'm just going to spend all this money sitting in my PayPal account because, you know, I want PayPal things like games and easy stuff or subs on Twitch or whatever. But it's just, dude, if she's an accountant, I wouldn't even, don't even say it's for you then if you're worried about her getting all fired up about it like after you, because I know my wife, anytime I bring up money, it's just never a good conversation. So I usually tend to like be like asking for a friend or for science, you know, one of those deals. Just be like, hey, listen, I mentioned that you were an accountant, and Snoop was like, hey, I'm a tax idiot. Can you help me? He wants to know if he needs to claim his Twitch money. You know, something like that. Yeah. That's not really, it's strong advice here. You might get hit. Just duck.
There's so many factors in that though, like what tax bracket you're in, how much you're actually making on Twitch. All of those things you need to take into account. So
you also got to find out if this counts as secondary income too. So if this is your only gig, that's one thing, but like myself, and I know Cass, and I'm sure majority of the people that stream at, you know, this level work a full-time job. So now here's the scary part that a lot of people don't think about. Now, let's say you make $15,000 this year on Twitch and your accountant comes to you and says, all right, you got to claim this. It might put you in a new tax bracket because now you made, let's say you made 75 at your regular job, add 15 on top of that, and now you're in a whole separate tax category. And
then you're getting screwed.
Yeah, then you're paying big money in taxes. So that's another thing a lot of people probably don't consider. So you just got to be careful. Anytime you start to see, you know, significant amounts of money come in, I would pick up a phone and call your accountant. You know, if you have a really good month on Twitch, pick up your phone and be like, hey, listen, this might actually be a thing now that I have to talk to you about. It's just, you're better off being safe rather than, you know, come January and you're getting a bill from the IRS for $2,000-$3,000 you don't have.
Yeah.
And they will scam you and be like, hey, you can do a repayment plan with us. And we're going to gouge you because we're the government and we can extort you legally. My tax bracket is hilarious. I love you, Sonomi. Sonomi, you got questions? You got Discord? Get your butt in here. That's right, I'm talking to you. If you guys have any more questions, though, you can feel free to post them in the chat since you all are here. Otherwise, I'm going to go through topic ideas. Oh, God. I'm trying to find topics we didn't cover. I'm not getting a lot of topics from everybody in the StreamKey Discord this week. I know it was a weird week with the whole hurricane and whatnot, so...
Yeah, a lot of people were out this week.
Give me a minute. It caught me with my pants down. You don't need pants on. You're not on camera. Eat my treats. Oh, you know what? Here's a good one. Charity streaming.
Where do you find these?
What? The topics?
Yeah.
Topic ideas under text channels.
Like, you just said, oh, here's a good one. Like, what do you do to find these?
I just scroll or green pin some of them.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the time I look at discussions and then I try to find like the core of what spiked it or sparked it rather, because you know English and stuff.
Spiked it.
Spiked. I was gonna say that. I got one for Cass. Why did you ban Snoop? He was being toxic. I sided with True, and so here's a little story for you guys. Here we'll do story time in the midst of Sodomi putting on pants.
Okay.
Today, True was concerned because Cass has a couch that puts the best of the best to sleep. So True didn't want Cass to sleep through the podcast. Now, I had faith in Cass. I even said it, that Cass wouldn't sleep through it. But True said, make sure you don't put your phone on silent. Don't you lob cool me in real life right now. True said, take your phone off silent, so if you do sleep, I can call you and make sure you're awake. And I said, you know what? It's always good to have a backup plan. And then I got banned from Cass's Discord temporarily. So
yeah,
I want you all to know that even though I sided with her, my co-host banned me.
You had no faith that I would stay awake.
I had faith.
You thought I needed a backup plan.
Everybody needs a backup plan. You should always have a backup plan.
Therefore, you were banned.
You have 2 routes of egress from your apartment if something happens. You have 2 ways out of your apartment if it catches on fire. I hope the answer is yes. The answer better be yes to this question. Otherwise, the
The
fire
the
marshal's
only other
coming.
option is death, so I guess it's death and death are the options. So
All right, Sodomi's here. Sodomi's coming with questions and maybe pants. We haven't decided yet. Hi.
Hello, greeting. Oh Lord.
Do you have your pants
Hello.
on now?
No, I just said fuck it.
Hey, it's
God.
lewd chat. By the way, Green, I didn't swear, Sodomi did. Blame him.
Crap,
Moving on.
God.
True channel.
Don't worry, I'm getting.
Sodomi,
I mean,
you got any questions or topics, or you want to touch on anything we talked about, like ninja or taxes or anything else?
so one thing, actually, I was watching a video by Roberto Blake. Do you guys know Roberto Blake?
I don't.
No.
You're gonna have to explain.
Okay. So Roberto Blake, he's a content creator on YouTube who specializes, well, niches, I'd rather say, because I'm bringing up niche later, who niches into something called entrepreneurship through the online space. So he promotes, like, you know, finding a trade, finding a skill, marketing that, using branching out on different networks, creating passive income with like your content. So I think it's actually good for a content creator to actually take a look at his stuff, but that's not an at his stuff. We're gonna get right to the main meat of why I brought that up. And back to diversifying income. For people who want to stream full, well, I don't like saying streaming full time because that's kind of a dumb idea. Streaming full time, but creating content's a much better idea. So, what would you say for someone who is looking to create content full time? The best way to manage your time, because as we all know, it takes a lot of time to even do a simple Twitch channel that has a decent amount of like quality to it. I know, SnoopCast, you guys have put hours, blood, tears, and really angry words at OBS and slobs.
All the anger.
I swear I've called slobs worse names than I've called people on Twitter.
But the best way to utilize your time on, well, content creation, let me not say Twitch. Content creation, because I think that's absolutely a better way to put it, because that's what encompasses all of it. I mean, it all depends on what you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to make it a successful business, like we've been talking about, and something that you're gonna do, solely as your sole source of income, or if that's the end game, I would say that when it comes to streaming specifically, I would say unless you're absolutely dead set dedicated on being on Twitch, I would stream to other platforms first of all. Like, hindsight being 2020, I love my Twitch community, and I know majority of them probably wouldn't follow me if I left. But
oh yeah, true.
A huge part of me wonders what happens if I decided to start this on Mixer instead of Twitch, where I would be. The 9 months of time I've put in the, the growth I've had and the numbers I've seen and everything else, I truly wonder what it would be like if I went to Mixer. Or if I started on Facebook, for example. Because Facebook is still so fresh and so new that I truly wonder if I dumped my 9 months of this kind of hard work into Facebook live streaming, where I would be in comparison to Twitch. Because as much as Twitch is awesome and, I love the community and we have great communities and the potential is there and you can still do it, but you are fighting saturation. 110%. No matter how you look at it, there's 2.2 million other people trying to do exactly what I'm doing and exactly what you're doing and exactly what Cass is doing. So it's sometimes, I mean, even now I think about it sometimes. I look at it and I'm like, I might just, like, I would say screw it, throw my hands up and go to Mixer. Like, is it 9 months wasted, or
to play devil's advocate here with the saturation thing? The saturation, I think, is actually beneficial to everybody, because mind you, I haven't been on, so in case people don't know, I've also been streaming on Mixer a little bit here and there too, kind of testing the waters, seeing other women, testing out the relationship. So going over there, one thing I've noticed for sure is that a lot, and I know sponsor streamers know this for sure, that a lot of trickle down traffic, I'll call it, because I don't know the better way to say it. Trickle down traffic comes from all the people we have networked here on Twitch. Because I know for a fact that, like, and I don't mean this like negatively in any way, shape, or form, but like, if I was to completely get off of Twitch and go to Mixer, I would be a 0 to 2 person streamer, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Only people who will come over would be my mods and possibly my girlfriend. Actually, she wouldn't. She's not downloading Mixer, so it would just be you and two current mods. So
she only supports me if I'm on Twitch. Otherwise, you're beat.
Yeah, but like I definitely feel like saturation's actually kind of a good thing if you look at it as.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a double-edged sword. At least at the minimum, I think it has its benefits and it has its negatives. You know, like you said, if I play Fortnite, for example, first of all, thankfully, I still actually enjoy Fortnite. I know everybody's gonna laugh, but I still enjoy playing it. I have a good time, even though I rage out and I lose my mind and whatever. It's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for my community because they get to see me act like a lunatic. But the whole thing with all of it is that I see my best numbers when I play Fortnite. And now everybody's going to go, well, how do you see numbers when there's 130,000 people watching Ninja? Because
there's too many people
exactly. There's so much trickle down and people are looking for somebody else to watch play Fortnite. You know, there are an extreme amount of people that love Ninja and will follow Ninja to, you know, he could play Animal Crossing and there'd probably be 100,000 people there. But there's a huge amount of them that only want to watch him play Fortnite. And the same goes with Tim the Tatman and anybody who mains a game for long enough. You know, they'll start to develop some kind of a fan base, but a lot of people just want to see the game. So I'll see probably, no joke, a 30 to 40% increase in my viewership most of the time if I'm playing Fortnite in comparison to something else. And I think that's I sit in a sweet spot, in my opinion, where I'm not overly saturated, where people think they're going to come in and not get to interact, but I'm also not, you know, that risky one pick. You know what I mean? Like, you can go through a stream list and look at somebody at 1 or 2 viewers and it could go either way. It could be somebody that's just hasn't gotten a lucky break to where somebody's clicked on their content and checked them out and they're actually really decent, or it could literally be a robot that sits there and just plays the game and doesn't interact with their chat at all, and that's why they're at 1 viewer. You know what I mean? It's that risky play where if somebody at 30, 40 viewers, I know they must be doing something to be at that number. You know what I mean? Whether they be botting or actually doing something, that 50-50 chance is just better. I mean, I can't remember the last time I scrolled the category with the amount of people that I follow that are not partnered or enormous anymore anyway. But I don't know, Cass, what do you think? I could go on all day about this.
Well, with the Mixer thing, I think they touched on this in a previous stream key that I was watching maybe a few weeks ago. That when you're first starting out your stream, that it's a really good idea to multicast. What do you call that when you stream?
We'll say simulcast for now. I know there's another word for it, but like co-stream, simulcast.
Yeah, where you stream to multiple platforms at once, you know, so you're streaming to Twitch and Mixer at the same time and just see what takes off, you know. I think that's a really good idea. And I had an epiphany when whoever mentioned that. I'm not sure if it was Green. I don't know who mentioned it. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I think I was there for that one too.
Yeah, the moment they mentioned that, I was like, wow, that is such a good idea. And like I feel like I'm too far past that to try and try out Mixer at this point.
I think it gets risky once you're an affiliate too, though, because Twitch owns your content for 24 hours per contract. So any content you produce, go ahead.
Okay, so the way it's written out is, so by letter of the law, any content you create cannot be on any other platform for 24 hours, which means your VODs cannot go up on YouTube for 24 hours. But if Twitch checks, they literally have they want you banned, so you're already boned. And with co-stream, it means you just can't stream the exact same content to another platform. Now, what you can do, which is kind of a loophole, is I think legitimately, if you change your camera angle, that actually would be
Oh yeah,
Like,
I
if you had
mean, I'm sure there's gray areas that you'd be able to jump through the hoops to try to avoid that. But it's funny you mentioned that because I know I talk about Broman all the time, but Broman was talking about it, and somebody brought that up to him how he uploads his VODs like almost instantaneously after he's done, and everybody's like, "Do you have a special contract with Twitch that allows you to do this?" He's like, "No, absolutely not." He's like, "Twitch would be out of their minds to start banning people for uploading their content to YouTube." He's like, because all they're doing is hindering their growth. He's like, that's why you never see it happen. So, I mean, you take that for what it's worth. It's just like the music claims and playing music on your stream. You know, it's a do it at your own risk type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the multi-stream thing, the only thing I can see getting confusing with that is the chat. I wonder how that would work.
Thought of that. Yeah.
Like, if I'm streaming to Mixer, Facebook, and Twitch all at the same time, and I got 3 chats up, people are going to be so confused. Not only do I have to keep up with 3 chats, but now if I'm talking to Twitch chat, the guy in Facebook chat is going to have no idea what's going on. And then the girl at Mixer is just going to be like, this dude's out of his mind. I'm done. I can't watch this. This dude's schizophrenic. He's talking to 12 people that aren't here.
Yeah, but when you're first starting out, I think it's like I don't know. I feel like it's a really good idea.
No, I definitely think it would be good. Like, I'm talking like fresh off the board, never have done this before.
One.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're day one and you have enough people in your chat to worry about that, you already are okay picking one platform.
Yeah.
Like, if you're that fresh, fresh into the internet, the Twitcherverse, the streamer universe, you, unless you have it somewhere else, you don't have all those viewers coming in. At least I assume you don't. At least I didn't. So, like, keeping an eye on 3 chats would be keeping an eye on 1 chat for, I guess, use right now. So
yeah.
For you, Cass, even. Not me, though. But,
oh, please.
Whatever.
Listen, I saw you this morning. Don't start with me. I may lurk a lot.
This morning?
Or yesterday morning. I don't remember.
There you go.
Yesterday morning. Listen, my days blend together, dude. It's so bad. But I'm a hardcore TV lurker. I tell Cass this all the time, and I get streamer guilt real bad over it. But I watch Twitch on my TV in the mornings. And I ain't trying to type in anybody's chat on the TV because it takes 14 years to just say hi.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm real bad with that. I'm a hardcore lurker when it comes to morning time, especially. But my point is, I think that I don't know, man. It's crazy to think about. You know what I really looked at, and everybody in the chat keeps making jokes about it and everything like that. But Facebook, and hear me out on it. For anybody that's a streamer or considering streaming, hear me out on Facebook. It is the biggest social media platform, period. And by a long shot. And I know it doesn't seem like it, and I know it seems kind of ridiculous, but numbers-wise, strictly numbers, it is the biggest platform out there, period. And it's still becoming something, and there's nothing but money behind it. So Twitch has Amazon behind it. You know what Twitch was the only game in town anyway before Amazon even came in. But now, especially, you got the big dog backer behind you. You are not running out of money. Facebook is in that same boat where Microsoft likes to cut projects that don't work. And Microsoft's not dumb. Microsoft will look at Mixer and say, listen, we were really hoping this is on a 3-year plan, and if it doesn't hit these numbers by 3 years, done. Look at it. It was already a different platform before Microsoft bought it. It used to be Beam. And Beam got bought out. And all those people that were on Beam left because Microsoft came in and just started promoting Xbox and Xbox streamers, and that was it. That's all you saw on Mixer, and that's still a majority of Mixer, and that's a lot of the problem. You're almost at a disadvantage on PC on Mixer than you are streaming from your Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane to me. And God forbid you play a PlayStation, you better find a different platform. Sony better come out with Sony streaming. But the one to watch, and I'm so tempted to just make an account and start streaming on it when it launches just to see, is Steam.
Yup.
Because if anybody's going to compete with Twitch, in my opinion, it's going to be Valve.
The only thing I see worried now, just one thing about the Facebook thing for me, like go back to school, to Facebook, something to say about that. Facebook streaming for me, either you start at 0 or you're at a huge security risk.
Yeah.
Because with Facebook, like I know most of you had Facebook accounts at some point, and you put some information that now, if you like put it in your streaming profile
Mm-hmm.
down below in your panels, you'd be like, well, I might as well give my address and just call the cops right now.
Yeah.
Like, it just no. So, and with
definitely
that,
agree.
like if you start at 0 with that, you have to start a new account, but use like your old like the account your mom knows is like, hey, Jack Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Son, how you doing? Come to your house. What's your address again? It's 432 I'm gonna kill you driveway.
Yeah.
In Manassas, Virginia, son. I'm like, whoop, delete my account. So, it's just
true.
I'm big on security at this point now. I've had people come in and try to like with some of the people who I've met who have pissed off, apparently they try to get me fired. So like I'm not gonna like
No, it's
give any
definitely
options.
risky for sure. But
Yeah.
I just think into the content end of it, I don't think it's a terrible idea. If I could go back and do it over again, I don't know if I would start on Twitch, but I feel like I would probably end up here. And that's only because it's just, I'm so ingrained in the Twitch culture. Like, I feel like because I was a viewer first, it also gave me an advantage. Like, I've been watching Twitch for, God, since it's been Justin TV. So, I've been able to see, as weird as this is going to sound, you see what works and you see what doesn't. You see what makes people grow and you see what makes channels die when you're a viewer for X amount of years before you start to do this. You really do have a leg up in content creation. And I think to be able to take that kind of a leg up and go to a brand new platform would be huge. So that's why I think if I was ever going to turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to pump the brakes on Twitch and try something else, I think it would be Steam. Because not only does Valve have the most potential to really blow it up, but you own the exclusivity to the biggest esports games in the world right now. With the exception of Fortnite and Overwatch, you own StarCraft, you own League, you own, or not League,
Dota.
Counter-Strike, Dota. Like, when they debuted, Dota was the one I was looking for, thank you. When they debuted their platform, even if it was a mistake, they only streamed the Dota tournament and they exclusively had it, and the viewership was through the roof. So, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to say the least, but I think for somebody that's brand new, you absolutely should dip your toes in every pool and give it some time. Like, when I first started, I had already started to kind of gain a little bit of traction on Twitch. When I had dipped my toe into Mixer, like I would stream to Twitch and then stream to Mixer like 2 days a week, and I was like, I just couldn't do it because the biggest problem for me was I already had a chat that moved and people to interact with, and it's not that I didn't remember how to that notification says something. What about thank you for the host? Not that I didn't remember how to monologue, but it was a lot harder after getting used to responding to people to just sit there and be like, all right, I'm going to build this wall and put a door in it. I'm going to run out here and get shot in the face by this man in Fortnite. You know what I mean? You take advantage of it because you get used to it. And now I jump on a platform and nobody's talking. And I'm just like, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I did those streams. I decided to start streaming a Mixer too for like 2 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I did it on Tuesday. I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I feel you, man.
So
I don't know, Cass, would you be able to do it? Would you be able to go back to the day one, no chat, no nothing, streaming?
No. At this point, no.
I gotta quit.
I don't think that I'm at a disadvantage for streaming on Twitch. Like, I see so many people still getting partnered. Like, I don't feel like because Twitch is as big as it is that that's a bad thing. Like, I still have tons of friends that, I don't know, it seems like once a month almost there's another streamer I follow that just got partnered and they're doing great. The potential is definitely still available for the people who want it and work really hard to get it here. But like, I don't know, like Facebook, I know you're being like optimistic about it, and you're all the things you said about it are completely true. I don't know. When I was at PAX, the Mixer booth was crazy popular. There were tons of people all around. And then the Twitch booths also were very popular. But the Facebook gaming booth, which was huge, by the way, had no one there. Like, there was zero interest. No one was standing around to watch the live streams. I even think they had like celebrities, or they looked like, I think they were like wrestlers that were there on some live streams, and still like no one was there. It was like a ghost town. I don't know if it's gonna take off, but the Steam streaming, that might be interesting.
Yeah,
I have to learn more about it first. I don't know enough about it to really consider it.
Nobody does. That's the thing right now.
So,
It's such a mystery, but it's so hyped at the same time. So the coolest thing I saw, for those people that didn't check it out, let me paint the picture for you a little bit. You go to steam.tv, which I don't even know if the website still works. I haven't checked since they were streaming the Dota thing. But the coolest thing is it has a chat built into it. It's also got voice built in, so you don't have to worry about jumping in Discord or anything. It's all self-contained, so it's all through your Steam account. And then you can also create separate chat rooms with your friends on your friends list to talk, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's definitely interesting. I want to see what it does, but it's like everything else. Like, I'm sure the people on the ground floor of Mixer were thinking the same thing, like, I don't know. And now you got Mixer partners that are breaking 1 million followers, which nowadays on Twitch seems like nothing. You know what I mean? Because Ninja's breaking 10 million or whatever it is, and all these people are over 100 million views. But on Mixer, to be on a platform like that and have over 1 million followers is insane, because
that's a big deal.
The viewership isn't there like it is here. You go on a Mixer even right now. I bet if I went on a Mixer and your top streams are their 2 hype zones and then somebody with 400 viewers playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's highest is 1,200.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And it's not 1,200 is nothing to scoff my nose at by any means, but I don't know. I think I'm always going to bleed purple. I think that's going to be a lot of my problem. It's just always, Twitch is always going to be home.
Yeah.
I think I'm just lazy, and like, I don't want to have to go through all that work again, again to like. And also, I definitely think that having like kind of a true community through Twitch is our main focus. Because let's be honest, sponsored streamers, I don't know, or sponsored anyone on Twitch. I don't see anyone from YouTube with a true sponsorship. So
yeah, no,
our community is on Twitch. That's
absolutely
where we are.
Absolutely. I think that's why you don't really see, and actually that's a pretty good point, and something that would be really interesting to bring up again once this sponsorship round goes through, but is they offer the sponsorship obviously to anybody, and I actually saw somebody applied with Instagram, which I thought was interesting because the way he does it, he does really awesome edits. Like, I was really, really impressed. And he does Fortnite edits on Instagram, and it was really, really cool stuff. And I would totally give him a shout out if I could remember his name. But I can't, so I feel bad. So if anybody in the chat knows who I'm talking about, he recently joined True, at least the Discord. But anyway, he applied. So I mean, I don't think it's too strange or far-fetched, and like still saying that they've had a YouTube sponsored streamer before. But I mean, like, look at the name alone. Like, it's sponsored streamer. You know what I mean? So unless they were streaming to YouTube, which YouTube Gaming shut down officially. Yes,
well,
Sicarillo, thank you.
Being reformatted.
Yeah, but they're shutting down the standalone app. Let me correct myself. They're getting rid of the standalone app, which I touched on this last week, and I think YouTube is going in the direction of trying to be the next Netflix, not so much the next Twitch. But I don't know. Back to the original point and topic of maximizing your content. It doesn't hurt to push everywhere, I think, but I think focusing on one platform is the only way to. You can't spread yourself too thin in the beginning. I wouldn't want to. I couldn't even imagine having to maintain a YouTube channel right now on top of streaming. Like, I get agita thinking about having to edit videos for 10 seconds, let alone for 4-minute highlight videos. And that means I got to watch 5 of my VODs to make a video. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. And then I try to think about like commissioning it, because I was literally thinking about this, and I've messaged a few people I know that do videos, that people that I think would even give me a fair price. And I'm just like, everybody said the same thing to me. They're like, if you send me the clips, then we can talk. They're like, but I'm not going to watch all your VODs. Which I get. Like, I couldn't imagine being a video editor. I would charge astronomical amounts of money for that. Like, I can't imagine what these big streamers, like, you know, I keep bringing him up because I watch him all the time, but like Tim the Tatman is the man I truly envy when it comes to the business end of this, because he's found a way to do 40 hours a week and still maximize content and profit. But he flat out says, like, obviously he has a management company that handles everything for him, but he has a video editor specifically for YouTube that goes through, and I believe the guy just watches his streams anyway, but goes through, edits his videos from said VOD from that day, and produces a 20-minute highlight, a 15 to 20-minute highlight video every day, sometimes twice a day. I can't imagine what that costs. And I mean, these are top of the line edits too. You know, this guy's obviously no joke. He's a professional, but
yeah.
No. There's no way. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I think that's a good segue topic. What do you think about commissioning work?
If it's a simple business question. If you can afford to do it and it brings you good returns, then it makes sense to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But and this is also coming from a completely business standpoint, no, like, you know, fancy stuff about it, no butterflies, smiles here, but like, if you want to commission someone for, let's just use stupid numbers. Let's just say $20
Mm-hmm.
to do the edit. Again, I don't know the actual market price, so $20 to do the edit. Okay, you can expect a safe amount where you're pretty much guaranteed going to get the amount of $100 of streaming per week.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know that putting that content out will get you more people in, or get you more views, get you more looks, get you more exposure,
Mm-hmm.
then yes, it's worth it. But if you do that for a month and those high videos get a total of 200 views across all of them, then it's not really worth it, I don't think.
Yeah. What do you think, Cass?
I agree. I don't know. I'd have to figure out like my budget, you know? Like, would I want my stream income to be the one that pays for those commissions? And then like, would it be worth the investment? You know, like Sadomi said, you know, like, is it going to bring in more followers or more viewers? Is it, I don't know. There's a lot to consider, and it might be, you know, it might be worth trying for like, okay, I'm going to try this for 3 months and just see what happens, you know, and it might fail.
Yeah.
But
yeah, some people have really good turnaround too with their YouTube and their Twitch, how they connect it together.
yeah.
Like, I think Tim the Tatman's a great one, because I actually didn't really watch him a lot. I just had to follow him because, you know, he's Tim Tatman.
Yeah.
And then I got bored, and I was like, you know, I got to do like an hour walk to work. I'm gonna just download random videos. I downloaded some of the story videos. I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Next thing you know, next day I'm in a stream watching him play Fortnite with Nick Merckx.
Exactly. Like, that's my thing, is the like, I feel like I'm missing out so much by not having a YouTube.
Yeah.
It's so huge for me. Like, it bothers me every day. I'm not gonna lie, it really does bother me. Like, when I think about stream and I think about this stuff, I'm like, how do I not have a YouTube channel? And almost to the point of, I almost want to cut back my days on Twitch to dedicate a day to doing a video, or a series of videos. Like, so do I cut back, like right now I'm doing 5 days. Do I cut back 1 day, maybe extend the days I do for longer? And then on the days off, do I do some videos? You know what I mean?
That's one of the things too I was thinking about when I was trying to diversify my content, because right now I made a very optimistic schedule of, I would branch out to 5 or 6 different platforms all at once.
Oof.
I start using Instagram. As you guys, I heard that oof.
Yeah.
So Instagram, Tumblr, because apparently Tumblr is a lot of people on there, but no
Tumblr's
one
a
uses
thing
Tumblr.
still? All right, go ahead.
It apparently, like, according to, I mean, maybe not content you want on Twitch, but like a lot, Tumblr's still a thing.
All right.
Anyway, so like with Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, forgot what else, something else. And with that schedule, I
Mhm.
was going to stream 5 days a week, but cutting out my hours because I learned that I personally can't do long streams. I hate doing long streams.
Mhm.
I'm too energetic. It's no. So do 3 hours of stream, which apparently is super short, but use the other time to prepare one big video on a topic that I kind of want to like keep in theme with the channel, but also
Mhm.
still kind of like a little mini editorial one, and then upload intermittent videos to help supplement my, you know, twitchiness.
Mhm.
That's how I put it. So like some kind of gameplay video for a game that I'm playing like on stream, but like something like different with it. So then hit that, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something easy, and then stream the Monday through Friday and just doing all that. So if we're still talking about this in about a month, I'll let you know how bad I failed.
Well, I just want to hear about Tumblr. I don't even care about the rest of it.
So one thing about Tumblr is a lot of creators, not really gaming creators, which is actually, I think, a really good topic. Not topic, but a really good piece of advice or idea I got from, I think it was Professor Broman. It was like, people outside of Twitch are your best audience to try and grab for.
Yeah, of course. Because you want to try to get the generic views you wouldn't already get by people on Twitch. You want to try to drag somebody in specifically just to you. You know what I mean? Over somebody who's just browsing Twitch who has the potential to go, let's go check out, you know, 5 other streamers playing the same game, where I found this guy on Tumblr. I think he's hysterical. I think everything he does is funny. Now I'm going to go watch his streams because I don't really use Twitch, but I need to see more of this guy.
Yeah, and like I said, honestly, same thing with Instagram and Twitter. Use it exactly the same way. It's just a different kind of platform. Like it's a different audience altogether. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who use Twitter don't also use Tumblr as much, I guess. But that's just, you know, me talking out of my butt.
No, I hear you, but I think this is a good place to wrap it up tonight, because we're about 2 hours in, and this is normally where we. Ooh. I know we flew tonight.
Yeah. That was
it's
fast.
my fault. My fault.
You invited me and I never shut up.
You're good. Listen, neither do I. Normally Cass has to shoot me the look through the camera. No, I'm kidding. See, there it is. She's even more mad because she has to watch the video to see me. I'm cheating. I don't have my camera up on my other computer. But anyways, Sodomi, thank you so much for popping in, my dude. Always appreciated.
Thank you.
No problem. Castle's nice talking to you. It's my first time talking to you.
Likewise.
Like, ever.
I know.
And
you fix that.
Go follow Sodomi on Tumblr at Tumblr/Sodomi. I don't even know how Tumblr works.
I will tell you what it is, but there's nothing there. It's emptier than my stomach right now. I need to go eat some food.
All right, my dude.
Enjoy food.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you all so very much. Cass, where can they find you in what are you doing this week? Do we have a general idea? I know you're having PC semi problems.
I'm having some technical difficulties. So if I stream, I will be, on Twitch. MissFatalKisses. You can find updates on Twitter. MissFatalKisses. You know. Easy.
All the things, chat. And mine is SnoopHogTV on all the things. You can follow me on everything like Twitch and maybe Twitter, because I don't post to Instagram but once a month. So anyways, I appreciate all the questions, all the people that got to jump in tonight, all of the lovely happy chatters down there, and the mods, of course. Sodomi, I appreciate you hanging out with us. Cass, I appreciate you doing this with me as always. We have to find someone to raid. So I'm looking right now for true peeps we can send the love to here. I feel like nobody streams at this time. Why
No,
are either of us
we're
live? Gosh.
we're it right now.
I know, we're the true community right now. I didn't even click on the team. I do better than that. Nobody's on right now.
Yeah, nobody's
Oh
on.
god, who are we gonna go send some love to here? You know what? Cass likes Path of Exile, right?
I do, yeah.
Kath enjoys Path of Exile, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna send you over to Closing Door. Closing
Good
Door
choice.
is a true streamer. He's a great dude. He helped me set up the audio that broke tonight, so everybody make fun of him that my mic stopped working halfway through the stream. And let's blame
Super
him for
nice
it.
guy.
Except we're not allowed to be toxic, so don't be toxic when you go there. We talked about this today, chat. Learn from me. Learn from me. But thank you
Don't
so
be
much.
toxic.
Don't forget, there will be Phone In Friday at 11 a.m. this Friday with Valley Green and other peeps. And then Tuesday is True Talk, and Wednesday will be us again. This week, I am doing my absolute best to have a guest. I don't want to drop who it is just in case he can't do it because I haven't asked him yet, but I'm pretty sure he'll be able to. He is not a true person, but I promise he knows what he's doing and he has great content. I love your faces. Bye!